basically how to deal with some of the times that we're living in. I never thought I'd own a gun, but let the gun and the person sort of mutually pick each other. You're going to have to find a gun that loves you and that you love. I know what the best gun is for you. The best gun for home defense is... Welcome to the Suburban Sheepdog Channel. This is a place where those of us with that high protective gene, the sheepdogs and the mama bears, as we call the ladies amongst us, this is where we gather to exchange information and to learn about basically how to deal with some of the times that we're living in. You know, we protect what we love, and I'm feeling a lot of protective energy out there these days. There's a lot going on, and it's definitely got our radar up. And so a lot of folk are looking for answers. Well, you're in the right place. We're going to provide those answers here. I'm Grant, and I'll be your host. I'm a family man, I'm a businessman, I'm a master's prepared psychologist of all things, and yet I have an affinity for the firearm community, for the shooting community. I shoot IDPA, USPSA, and tactical long range. That means nothing to you, but what it means is I shoot a lot. So I'm applying myself to the whole world of self-protection, protecting others. Isn't that what it's all about? Is protecting others. We got to protect ourselves if we want to protect others. So we're going to learn to do that right here on this channel. So hang in there with me. We're going to get someplace today. You're going to be amazed. All right. One of the things that I notice right now is that people's radar is up. People know I'm a gun guy. They come up to me, probably even secretively, and they go, "Hey, Grant, I'm really anxious. I never thought I'd own a gun, but I feel like I need to own a gun. I have zero idea about what I need to own. So tell me about what I should have for home defense, maybe for the car, maybe that I carry on my person." And my answer there is that, hey, all right, I can talk to one person or I can talk to however many, right, through YouTube. So here we are. And I've decided to put everything that I know and what I'm going to research right here for you. So we're going to do it right, though. We're going to do it with a fresh approach. We're going to use guests. We're going to help them pick their guns and so on and so forth. It's going to be very, very novel. But we're going to do this in a way that is consistent with, I think, what I would just call a neighborly approach. Think of me as your neighbor, but that guy that gets up at early hours and drives 2 hours to a match every Saturday. I'm that guy. I think I can help. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to talk about tactics. We're going to talk about weapons, firearms, help you pick out the right things, maybe even talk about the Red Ryder. Hey, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. We'll probably dedicate an episode to the Red Ryder, but it won't be today. We're going to talk about that right gun for home defense. And you know, there's a lot of controversy out there in the gun community. It's carbine, it's shotgun. We build grids. We want to do it mathematically. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. While I really respect that approach, and we may actually get there at the end, what I want to do is I want to take and look at it from the standpoint of perhaps you, if you're new to the shooting community. So my theory is that we should let the gun pick you. I'm going to take a really bold stab at something right here, right now. I'm going to say, I know what the best gun is for you. I really do. The best gun for home defense is the gun that you're comfortable with. That is, that it ergonomically, it fits you. It's not too heavy. The second thing is that you shoot it well. That is, you can hit what you shoot. Isn't that what it's about? Third is it needs to be able to eliminate the threat. It needs to stop the threat. If it doesn't do that, it doesn't matter. You can say, oh, well, I got this 22 I got from my dad, and I really like it, and I shoot it well. Okay, but it's a 22 caliber pistol. It's not going to get the job done, so it fails in that criteria. Oh, I got this 12 gauge shotgun, fire breathing, double-aught buck, 3.5-inch Magnum. It doesn't matter if you can't shoot it well. So we're still going to be looking at those guns, and we're still going to be applying some form of a grid, but what we'd like to do is we're going to take a couple, actual friends of mine who have minimal gun experience. I call them gun friendly but not gun savvy. we're going to take them to a range. And we're going to give them minimum safety instructions, make sure they're safe, make sure they know how to operate the guns. But then what we're going to do is we're going to let them shoot those guns and let the gun and them sort of, mutually pick themselves. But that's not enough, because what I know from being a competitive shooter is when you dump adrenaline into the equation, the whole thing changes. Okay, our fine motor skills, our dexterity, our critical thinking, it goes down the drain. And it does so with the buzzer, right? In competitive shooting, shooter ready, stand by, beep. And when that goes off, it's like the delete button. All my plans, they just go out the door. And I feel more like a squirrel than a competitive shooter. Running around, maybe I don't do what I want to do. That's what happens in a home invasion, times 10, times 100. We've got to find a way to deal with that. And I think the best way to do that is to find a gun, and it may be different from person to person, but find a gun that the person likes, that works for them, that they shoot well. It may be different, like I say, from person to person. But the important thing is let the gun and the person sort of mutually pick each other. So we're going to shoot 3 or 4 different types of guns. I've got a couple. They're ready to go. They're in this video. We're going to just go right straight to them, and we'll see how they do. And we'll see if the gun and if the operator sort of comes together and has a successful launch, a successful marriage. So how did you like that? We let the people pick the gun, and the gun picked the people. So what happens is that you saw that they had some modicum of proficiency with a particular gun, and yet when we did those drills like we do in the competitive community, where we amped up their adrenaline by making the targets come rushing at them. So what happens? Like I said, the fine motor dexterity, the critical thinking, it goes out the window. And so what we saw is that they were able to pick through comfort and through accuracy. We looked at the targets and we figured out, hey, which did you shoot best? That's the gun that person ought to be shooting. And so when we look at people like myself who shoot regularly, we end up with really high-end motor skills, and we just perform these functions, coming up on a target, shooting, reloading. We just do that automatically. It's the same for the SWAT guys, the military that trains at the highest levels. They're all in that boat. If you're not going to be that person, you're going to have to find a gun that loves you and that you love. And that's the gun you ought to be shooting. It could be pistol. It could be shotgun. It could be carbine. It could be a PCC. I suggest that you figure that out before you buy, okay? So next episode, now that we saw how well that worked with our couple, the next episode is we're going to go ahead and get that grid out. I don't want to disparage anybody's gun or anybody's grid because it's all useful. And what I want to do then is unpack their choices and find out why they chose them. I look forward to seeing you in that next episode, but you got to subscribe. So subscribe, ring the bell. We'll see you in the next episode. We're going to take it up. We're going to finish this up. Thank you. There's going to be a whole video on this. That your best bet is to stay put, call the police, and defend, like I call your bunker, right, your bedroom or whatever. But if you had guests or if you had your kids in or something like that, and you had to go rescue somebody, and you had to go through your house with one of those guns, which one would you have wanted in your hand?